Hey guys, Salut, tous. Today we're going to play around with some metallic clays and a cane of your choice. In this case, I'm using a cane I already have, which is a extruded cane. My colors are quite simply pink and orange. This is Cernit magenta, and I have this mixed with a little bit of translucent just to soften it up a little bit. Okay, and now for my orange, this is actually Cernit rust, but it's quite dark. So I'm going to add a little bit more Sculpey bright orange, a little bit of pearl, to go with the orange, because obviously you want it to be metallic and not a flat color. A little bit more. A little bit more. So we're going to do that. And then I'm also going to add, because I do know this is quite hard, both my pearl here and the rust, I'm going to add a little bit of translucent just to soften it. You could use a clay softener or magic mix, but I'm not going to. I don't want to. I'm quite happy just to add a little bit of this to soften it up, because this is very soft anyway. Okay, so there's my clay color. So I'm gonna I'll mix these up and I'll add a little bit more of the magenta for this one. Okay. Now let's talk about the cane. This cane I actually made in my itsy bitsy teeny weeny retro on a roll, which is my last members only. And this is really easy cane to make. What I used was, first of all, I'll put the colors up here in the corner as I'm talking. I use this little, the small rectangle and the medium circle. So I've just made that, the medium circle just makes the rectangle just that little bit shorter. Okay, because I wanted quite a small rectangle extrusion. So that's that. So anyway, so on the photos there, you can see that there was actually 8 stacks. You only need 4. 8 stacks actually got me 2 of these and 1 long one of these. And you're quite fine to make, just use half. So you just put each stack in, make an extrusion. You cut off the first bit of the black, and then I measured it from up to here, up to 36 centimeters. Okay. And what was left over went into this cane here. Okay. Anyway, so up to 36 centimeters, and then you just cut it in 4. Cut them in 4 centimeters, 4 centimeter pieces. Okay. Then I just made 2 rows of the flat rectangles, and then I made a separate row of these ones all standing up, and then I laid them on top of each other and gave them a wee squeeze. So it's really easy. Again, if you would like to see how I did it, you can click the link below in the description box, or click the link here. Right, okay, and here's other canes that I have. I went a little crazy with my micro canes. They're quite cute. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to work with. So I am going to go and condition my clay. You want your clay to be really well conditioned, especially when working with metallic clays. You can see here, this is not well conditioned. It shouldn't crack like that. Okay. And even just leaving my clay out overnight, I could quickly see this morning that my clay had already started to separate the oils and the polymers and whatnot. So you want really freshly conditioned clay. Okay, so I will do that, condition my clay, and I shall be back. All right, it got a bit late last night. It was too late to film, but it's too early to go to bed. So I had to play around. I just can't sit there and do nothing. So I did make another piece, and I absolutely love this one. Absolutely love it. It's out of the oven. It's not standard or anything, but anyway, I absolutely love this. So we're going to do something similar. But I wanted to show you something. This one I made a few days ago, and this one here is just with the metallic, the magenta and the orange. This one here, I added just a little tiny bit of Cernit purple to the edge of the pink. And so I kind of got this little purple into pink. I'm not sure, I like it, but I'm not sure if I like it more than just the magenta and the orange. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put just a little tiny bit where I put the purple. I'm going to put a little bit of the turquoise. The turquoise here, this is Cernit metallic turquoise, mixed with a little bit of white and then some pearl again, and also some translucent. This is left over from my last members only. So there, that's that. Now I forgot to mention to you that you do need some white clay and you need some black clay. Now you need white clay because there's a huge difference. This here, again from my last members only, this has a white backing. So the clay was put on the white, the white is underneath. This one is on black. Can you see the difference in the brightness? There's a huge difference, right? So we need to do that, put a little bit of white behind. And we also need some black. Black, this is rolled out on a number 1, and we'll go through that now. Actually, we'll do this first. Yes, we'll do this first. Okay, now this is the cane I'm going to use. I took a little slice off it. This is probably about maybe a 0 setting, I would think, just about. I get some paper. And just let me cut this. Yep, my flexible blade. Push this aside. I'm going to cut this down the middle. We're going to place that there. And then we're going to turn this upside down. But first of all, I want to see which side I like better. This one. So butt that up to there, and this, yep, perfect slice. It's about the same height, or it is the same height. And then the same with this one. Flip it over like that. Basically, this would give us a nice little line, a little black line separating the Skinner blend with the cane here, and also putting this through the machine is going to help keep it nice and straight. If you just put this through the machine without the black either side, it would get all distorted and it would not look very good. So this is why I'm adding the black. All right, now another piece of paper, and burnish them together. Now I'm going to flip it over and burnish this side. Another little burnish just to make sure it's stuck together. I don't want to put it on the white yet, because I know this is a 0. Better set my machine to 0. I don't want the white yet. I will put it on the white after I have it down a couple of, too sharp, a couple of notches. Okay, so put it through the machine lengthwise. So I'm going this way. I'm putting it through the machine only this way, okay? And then a 2 and a 3. Here it is on a 3. Now I'm going to go down to a 4. Okay, we're just elongating it the one way. This is also where we're going to get a mica shift too. Okay, now I'm going to leave a bit of a border. I need my light, guys. Sorry, with a magnifying glass so I can get precise. like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. Sorry for that squeak. Also, sorry about the claim. Nothing I can do about it. It's hot. There was actually a beautiful breeze, but it's too much of a breeze, and the camera keeps shaking in the wind, so it's either a bit of noise from the air conditioning unit or it's a shaky camera. So I think I opted for the aircon. Okay, so now we'll just leave that sit for a moment, and now we're going to do our Skinner blend. We have our orange. Now I actually added a bit extra Cernit rust because I added way too much Sculpey bright orange. So yeah, so I had to tone it back down a little bit. Right, so let me put my sheen back on 0. Give us a couple of passes to wake it up again. It's been sitting there since last night. All right, okay, so this aside. Now all I'm going to do, it's been quite simply, I'm going to leave raw edge to raw edge. I want the raw edge because it's going to make the blend a bit easier for me. And I'm just going to lay this over that. Take my duller blade. And then maybe make this straight, that would be easier. And then I'm going to cut there. And there. Okay, this is just, instead of doing all these different triangle shapes and doubling over, I just find this is quite simple, and it works just fine. Okay, so now I have my 2 colors there. Where's my, this is my dull blade. I lift it up. See, here we go. So we've got, it's not going corner to corner. You don't want that, otherwise you're gonna have just a big blend. I wanted to keep some orange and some pink on either end separate. So let's give this a little pinch. And then on a 0, I'm gonna put it through my machine, like that. I'm gonna put it down to a 3, again, like that. And see, this isn't, all the mica particles are not aligned here, as you can see. Okay, but that's fine because it's gonna be going through the machine so many times, they'll become flat. Right, so now, and I'm gonna keep doing that, fold it over, put it through the machine like that. And again. Now my orange is a little bit softer than the pink. So what I'm going to do, and I actually alternate this. I will take the orange, put it on the roller, but butt this up to the side of the machine, and then I'll roll it through, and then I'll do the same, but I put the pink then on the butt, on the side of the machine, so then it keeps the blend a little bit more compact. Anyway, I'm going to carry on, and I'll come back when we have a nice blend. Okay, so this has been through the machine about 10 times, and I forgot about my turquoise. So I'm going to take just a little, put this out of 3. Now, I know this clay is going to be quite dry. It's going to give me a bit of trouble, but I don't have time to condition it. I'm going to take just a tiny bit. Just a tiny, tiny bit. And put it there. There we go. That is all. And now I'll put it back through on the 3. And fold. Right, and I just want just a tiny bit of a little hint of blue. And if I don't like it when I go to cut out my circle or my shape, I don't need to use this part. Okay? Anyway, I'll carry on. I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so I decided to scrap the blue. I'm using a smaller pendant anyway, so a smaller circle, so I'm not going to get it in. Right. Okay, this is my good side facing down. And I'm just going to take this and slice it in half roughly. Now for this one, I'm just going to go back and take upside down sharp. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so there we go. Now we take our centerpiece and we put it in the middle. Roughly, and then this little guy standing up here, I don't want him standing up. Okay. Cut off the excess. Okay, now I'm going to give this a good burnish. So this is now on a 4. This is my bad side, okay. Okay, got little bits of clay everywhere. Right, okay, now I'm going to put this through on a 4 just to make sure it's all the same width, thickness. Very gently. Okay, there it is on a 4. Now I'm going to take my white. This, I believe, is on a 6. Let me see if it's on a 6. It is on a 6. And we're going to bring it to a 7. Okay. Again, you don't need perfect white. Scrap white is just fine, as this is. I love white, but I hate using it because it gets so dirty so fast, and I have a cat and a dog, and dust. Not a good combination for white clay. Okay, so now I'm going to take this. This is my good side. Yep. And carefully lay this down so there's no air trapped in it. See what I mean by the wind? I have the window closed, there's still a little bit of a breeze coming through, and right, let's cut off our excess white. Okay, give this another little burnish. Now, I'm going to put this through the machine again, going this way, and I'm going to go to a number, well, let's go to a 1 just to be on the safe side. Probably way too small, too thin for a 1, but we'll try anyway. 1, same direction, going down this way. On a 2, nope, there's no drag. On a 3, same direction. There we go. Three was good. I'm happy with the 3. I think. Now I can see some of this is separated. That's okay because I'm going to put some liquid clay in there when it's on the dome. Now I'm going to bring this down to a 4, guys. Bring it down to a 4. That's better now. Okay. Now you can see now it's elongated quite well, and we're also going to get a mica shift in here as well. Okay. No, I don't have enough for 2. Right. Okay. So I'm going to do a smaller circle. All right, I'm going for it. It's hard in my hands. So get my. There we go. I don't really want to waste that. Right, okay, here we have that. Now I have my silicone egg poacher, my trusty doming tool, and I'm going to very carefully pull up this right in the middle. Is it in the middle? I think it's in the middle. I'm getting good at this, guys. All right, so now I'm going to gently tap from the inside to the outside. Make sure it's laying all nice and flat. Okay, I think it's pretty flat. Now, because we stretched out the cane, that wasn't properly compacted. If I compacted the cane too much, I would lose the definition in the little extrusions. So there are little holes, and of course they got exaggerated when they went through the machine. Some of them got filled in and some of them got pulled apart. So if I bring it up close, you can see some holes just there. And you can see there, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I am not going to grab this on my right. This is what I grabbed a few nights ago when I made this one. Big mistake. Make sure you grab your right liquid clay. I accidentally put the Cernit glue on this thinking it was liquid clay, and oh my goodness, to sand this off was not easy. This sands off just like butter. It's so easy to sand. the glue, oh gosh, I say it's a good hour trying to get through the glue. It's good glue. Anyway, I'm just going to take my liquid clay, and I'm just going to just in the retro part fill in the holes, and then I'm going to give it a good full wipe over with liquid clay, so the liquid clay will go into the little grooves and it won't have any holes after it's fully sanded. And put that back. Yeah, I had no idea. Again, I woke up, I did this, I made this one, like I said, a few nights ago, put it in the oven, left it in the oven overnight. Woke up the next morning and I touched it. It's like, that does not feel right at all. I think I used the glue. Uh-oh. And I did. And I won't do that again. Again, this stuff just glides on and sands off. It's lovely. I'm just making sure we have it in all the holes. All right, so that is ready for the oven. Okay, there's been a little change of plan. I'm not actually going to back this on, put it back on this on camera. I'll do it off camera, because I was playing around last night and I finished off this one. This was not been, this, I need to sand it more. It's only been sanded up to 1,000 grit. But what I did is that I made it into a hollow disc, which I rather like. And I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so I made another one this morning. So here's the back and here's the front. Okay, now what I have here, what I did was I took the same circle cutter, and on a setting number 4, I placed the clay, the black clay, and put a little bit of super glue and a little bit and some Cernit glue. Okay. And I've let this sit now for about 20 minutes. Just make sure the super glue is all adhered. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is put this on and line it up. Line it up as best as I can now, because I don't want to play around with it when the glue's on it. A little bit more this way. It's not perfect, but of course, as I'm on camera, I'm trying to rush it. I think that would be good, actually. Now I'm just going to give a slight squeeze so I can get a good impression. Because what I was thinking is, like, you know, I really wanted to make a disc, but I didn't know how to go about it, because I know that super glue wouldn't work. I thought about just using super glue and then doing a not Sutton slice, a Jessama smear. But I was thinking, you know what, that's not strong enough. It's just not strong enough. You really need clay on clay, raw clay to bake clay at least, and not just, you know, raw clay with super glue, because the super glue is not going to hold forever. So especially if I'm going to be sanding this, and do a final sanding later on. Sorry if I'm mumbling a little bit. It's a little bit late. I'm really trying to get this done so I can spend the evening sanding. And hold on now. Get some more. As close to the edge, but not on the edge, because I don't want the glue to go out on the edge to squeeze out, because if it does, it will be very hard to mush my clay into the recess into here. Now, of course, I'm going to add the liquid clay, and I'm going to add just a few dots. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put a little bit on this as well. Okay, and hope for the best. All right, put it down. And that's good. All right, now I'm going to gently squeeze. Make sure I don't unalign the discs. I think that's good. I'm trying to get all the, squeeze the clay out to the outside, the raw clay. Voila. And now we have a very good adhesion, and something equivalent to the Jessamy smear, so it will be nice and polished, a nice finish. So I'm just going to squish that around. And now I'm just going to take a knitting needle and slowly start flattening it out. Like this. Then I'm quite simply just going to take my blade, when I finish it all, take my blade and very carefully trim off the excess. Like that. Okay, now when I have this all nice and smoothed out to my liking, I am going to take my little needle tool. I'm going to find a place where I want to put the holes, which I think I'm going to put either side of this, but I'm not going to do it now because I want to be sure. I'm just going to take my needle tool and I'm going to make sure I poke right, there we go, so it gets right into the piece in between. So that allows, there's a lot of trapped air in there, but we want it to escape. We don't want it to compress or to explode on itself. So I'm going to continue doing this. When I'm happy with the finish, I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'm going to put it on a bed of baking soda, soda bicarbonate. Okay, so that way it will retain the shape on the bottom. And there we go. So that's that. I will come back then when they're all sanded and polished, and then we'll assemble either this one or this one with a necklace. Okay, see you in a bit, or see you tomorrow. Okay, I was up late sanding and buffing these babies last night, very late. And anyway, I just want to pop on because I'm going to give these guys a real good polish now. And I just want to go over how I polish. Okay, this is my bench polishing machine. It's very heavy. I have it sitting on a non-slip mat, okay, which does still slip. Anyway, I usually polish quite close to my chest, but for the matter of the camera here, I'm going to have to try to leave it in the center. I'm going to turn it on. Now, first of all, it's very handy. Again, my buddy Jan Montarsi, he gave me some very good tips. And that is to put a box behind the wheel, so if your piece slips out of your hand, boink, it goes in the box and it doesn't go and break your computer screen or your window, whatever's in front of you. Okay. Now this is actually two wheels doubled up, two discs doubled up. And if you can see here, what I did was, again, another Jan tip. I took out the first stitch there, and so now I've got a much softer, wider area to polish. All right, What else? Yes, okay, and this here, this is this color here because when I first started polishing, I thought I needed to use a wax or some kind of polishing compound. And so I bought a cheap and cheerful Dremel, okay, and this is what gave me the color. I don't know why I had to smell that. It smells disgusting anyway. Anyway, that is the reason for the color of my wheel here. Again, you don't need that. Honestly, if you sand really well through the grits, again, I start at normally 320, sometimes 240 if it's real bad, but normally 320. And I would spend a long time on 320, quite a long time on 400 and 600. And after that, 800 up to 2.5, 3,000 is basically a breeze. Okay, so you really want to concentrate on the lower grits. But again, see, this is just up to 2,500. And then I just gave it a brief buff with my rotary tool here. And this is a wool disc. This is cotton. So again, it looks okay, but I'm going to show you now the difference. And again, I'm going to show you that you really do not need a polishing wax. Okay, now I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to most likely not talk through this, or I'm going to try. It depends on how loud it is when I go to edit. Okay, here we go. And I turn this up to 3/4 of the top speed. And again, you hold it, you can feel it, okay? You can feel it. You want to hold it in your hands like this, and you want to just very gently touch, just very, very, very gently. And again, you're just your hands guiding it. You're not putting any pressure on it at all. Now you can see already. Okay, I'll just do a little bit more. And this does not take long either because you've done all the hard work. And if you don't do a good job sanding, you're wasting your time doing this. It has to be perfectly sanded or the piece won't look good. One more little go. Okay, so here's the polished bit here, and this one I didn't do too much with. Again, it's still quite shiny, but there's a big difference, okay, in here. Again, I mean, you choose how to finish. You choose to finish your piece as you like. I mean, you may choose to resin, you may choose to varnish. I prefer to sand, buff, and polish purely because it's gonna last, it's long lasting. Resin and varnish, they will deteriorate over time. So will any wax or a polishing compound. That will deteriorate and wipe off over time. But a good sand and polish will not. Again, you can just, give it a buff up and it's good to go again. Anyway, so I'm going to carry on with that, and we'll come back and we'll assemble one of these into a necklace. Okay. Okay, time for assembly. Right, I'm just going to use these eye pins. I think they're called eye pins, with a little metal spacer bead. And I'm using my pliers because last time I tried to do it, it went flying across the room and I lost it. So, and you know what? I'm gonna lose it doing this way too. So let's just do it by hand and get my piece all dirty. All right, now let's get this in there. Now, because I wet sanded these last night, there's still some water inside of it. So I tried to squeeze as much out as I could, but I know there's still some water still in there, so I'm just going to let this air out a little bit more before I put any super glue. Okay, so here it is. So I have them both done. All right. Did you notice there's no logo? Yeah, it's because I made some components, and here they are here. Now here's my logo. And I did these double-sided, so you could wear the pendant, the necklace like this, or like this, and I prefer like this. Anyway, so the components, these are on a number 6, or yeah, I know I did these on a number 5, the front and the back on a number 5, and then I sandwiched some black clay in between, and then I put a little bit of wire, just like I did in Doodalicious and Spiralicious, a little bit of wire inside, so I didn't have to drill all the way through because I'm really crap at drilling. Anyway, so this, the big ones here, these are the same screw and eye pins. And these ones I made with the looper, my looping tool, which I absolutely love. Now, what I'm using is this. This is actually stainless steel, but it's got a coating on it, and the coating's going to come off, but I'm not bothered because it's stainless steel. Right, I'm just going to take the head off the pin, and it flew across the room. Okay. Now, for the looping tool, there's a little trick that I found out. I'm gonna bring my light down, sorry guys. It's you don't need to put it all the way through this little hole back here. You really don't need to. You just need to put it to here. As long as it's gonna catch here, and you have this flat down here, you are basically wasting very, very little wire. Again, some of the coating is coming off. Again, like I said, I'm not bothered because it's stainless steel, so. And I think this is probably about 1 millimeter thickness, this wire. All right, so what I'm using is some of these check glass beads that I got from Pearls & Co. They're the closest color I could find that was a little bit neutral, but they add a little bit of interest. And I didn't want to go purple or pink. I wanted something just a little bit more neutral. That's why I chose these. So I'm going to stick that on. And get my looping tool again. Now this time I will put it through the hole. Now, I've always been told that you can stop here, but I'm not. I'm going to stop up to this part here. Not here. I'm not going to keep it flat. I'm going to raise it up a little bit and let it touch the arm there. Then close it in. Then I've got a very tight, whatever. I don't know what to call it. The word escaped me. Anyway, I'm just going to push that flat. Now they're not lined up, so I'm just going to take my pliers and line it up. Okay, so there we go. We have a connection. So I've made more. Put this back up now. Okay, I made more. So I have, these are just with the glass bead, and these ones for the very top is with the spacer bead, the glass bead, and a spacer bead. So these are for the top. And a connector, and a connector, and a connector, and a connector. And I'm also using these O-rings. So I get my pliers again. I'm just going to do one because I really need my magnifying glass to do this, and I don't really want to bore you guys. Actually, I've already got the O-rings on this one. So again, I don't have my magnifying glass. I don't have my light, so please excuse me. Anyway, basically that. Stick it on like that. No, that's not right. Yes, it is. What are you talking about? Like that. Voila. So there we go. And I'm gonna do the rest off camera. There and there. And I'm going to choose one of these, and I will show you which one I choose in the show and tell. It took just over a week, but we crossed the finish line. Finally, I can do a show and tell. This was a long video to film, I tell you. It's my own fault. I just couldn't stop making them. Right, here's the first one that I made that you saw in the intro. This was the prototype. This was actually round, but I didn't like how it looked, and also I sanded a bit too far, a little bit too deep into the backing, so I just cut it off with a pair of scissors. And this I did with this cane here, and this orange is from the orange from my last members only. This does not have the rust in it. Here's the back. And this actually, it sits nice. It doesn't look very nice now, but it sits quite nice. These are just two jump rings. But this looks nice with the chain as well. Because again, like I showed you the two photos in the intro. Anyway, so that is that one. I'll get this right up to the top because I have a few more to put. Right, then I love this one, and I've worn this a couple of times. I really love this one. Love it, love it, love it. This one I did with this cane here, just that, and I stretched it out. It's really quite hard to see, and it's quite small because the design is quite small. There is a mica shift in there because while we put it through the machine, the mica particles all started laying flat. So there is a mica shift, but it's really hard to show on camera, and it's actually quite hard to see. It's easier to see it outside than it is to see it under this light. Anyway, so here's that one, and here's the back. I just put a I made my logo out of a Skinner blend. Again, I really love this one. Love it, love it. I really love this. I love pink and orange together as well, I have to say. Then I made this one here, again with the same cane. Okay, I've not finished this one. I know I'm gonna have to put the Buna cord through it. It's just a matter of putting a backing on it. But to be honest with you, I was kind of running out of time and I'm running out of steam, so I will finish this one at a later date. Then we made this one on camera with the cane here, or one of the. I made two canes. I have two canes, so one of the canes, just this one, the single one stretched out. I really like this one. There's the back again with the Skinner blend logo. The blend is very muted, and there's a reason for that. It's because I stretched it out too far. I was originally thinking about making a pair of earrings. You saw me take out the small circle cutter, but then I was like, well, no, I don't have enough for a pair of earrings, so I made it into a pendant. But I do like it. It's just the blend is just a lot more subtle, but I really do like this one still. What I'm going to do with it, I have no idea. Probably going to drill some holes here and put probably a 1mm leather cord through it. Anyway, it's for another day. I'll leave it here. No, I'll leave it here. Then I'm going to go with the one that I made. I showed you how I made the hollow disc. I really like this one as well. I really like this one. This one I made with two pieces of this cane, and I just mirrored it. So I cut it and then I mirrored it, so I had the horizontal on the outside, the vertical facing the vertical, and the horizontal on the outside. So again, I really quite like this one. And here's the back. So again, you can wear this either way, okay? And I have this, again, I'm not sure about the setting on this. I don't know if I'm gonna, not the setting, but the chain. Ideally I would like some black cord, but this will do just for now for the video. And of course the piece de resistance, I absolutely love this one. You know that I kept the big one for the long necklace. Here is the big one, and I am so pleased with it. I really have to say I'm so pleased with it. Yeah, I'm just very pleased with it. And of course it can be worn two ways. And normally, actually, it does normally falls quite nice. So again, so there that is, and I am very happy with this one, I have to say. And again, this sits then just down below the center of your bra, or you know what I'm trying to talk about. It sits just down there, so it's quite nice. It sits nicely. It sits nicely. And now I just put this back and fix this now. So I'm very happy with all of them, actually. Again, I just have to change the cord, the stringing up on this one. But yeah, I'm very happy. Now, I have did you notice that I didn't use any alcohol when I was when I put the pieces on my dome on the silicone egg poacher? Well, because this one here, for whatever reason, I put this one on the dome, and I did my usual. I did my alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and I just lightly did it. And just as soon as the alcohol touched the pendant, it started cracking. And I was like, what? And so I kept it up, and then it cracked more, and it cracked more, and then it cracked more in the oven, obviously, when it was curing. But I actually quite liked it. I really quite liked it. My only regret is that I filled it in the crack with silver liquid clay instead of using gold. If I had used gold, I think it would have kind of went a little bit better. But yeah, so it was kind of a little bit, for me, it was a happy accident. I mean, I've worn this a couple of times. It's taken almost 2 weeks to do this video, by the way. I've worn it a couple of times, and yeah, it's quite cute. But again, I think I prefer the chain setting, but the black just look better. Maybe I can get, I think I'll change the cord. But anyway, so that is that. Oh, and I didn't mention, okay, for this one here, this one I used this cane, okay, and then I put it against this one. So that is why this one's a little bit thicker, because I have this cane here, and then I have the thin cane here. So that's how I made that one. So I used the two. All right, well, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. If you are here, you're not subscribed, please subscribe. This content is free, and it would really help my channel if you subscribed. If you like this, please give me a like and leave a comment. Let me know which one you like best. Leave a comment below. Share if you think anybody would like to see this video. And if you'd like to support my channel, you consider becoming a member. That would be great. My members are growing, and they're what's keeping me going, to be honest with you. Anyway, so I guess that's that. I hope you enjoyed this. I did. I made too much, but I enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.